What's going on, fam? Back again. Got a question for you guys. This is everybody, too. What is a quote unquote real man? What goes into making a real man? Now, we've heard it before. It could be your father telling you, it could be your uncle, it could be some type of crazy definition you came up with yourself. But we're going to dive into it today and just, give you guys a little food for thought, just from our perspective. But we're going to put a spin on it. What is a real man? Old school versus new school? Now, of course, you already know me and Carl, old school. B, even though you're getting older, you're still new school.
Fair.
So my first question would be, when you talk about a real man, according to who? Now, when you think about what a real man is, B, what do you reflect on?
My personal definition, a real man is a man, of course. I don't have to get into that, but gets up every day.
No, you do.
Yeah,
you
know
actually do.
You know where I was going with that.
In these days and times.
These days and times, you do.
A biological male
Okay.
that gets up every day, does what he's supposed to do. For
What's
whether,
that?
albeit himself or his family, he is disciplined, he has structure, he adds value to the world. He's not just taken from the world. He has a structure, he has solid beliefs. I could go on, but I think that's the gist of a man, in my opinion.
The new school. Okay.
Book of Brandon,
See, there we go. Boy, B is growing up on as we see. He's just growing up.
I think he's old because all of what you just said is a traditional definition of being a man.
Old school.
Being
We
responsible.
could be new school and traditional.
No, because you stealing my thunder. Everything you said is what I would say. Being responsible.
The same.
Yeah, but that ain't what these new people is. These new dudes, I don't know what they doing. Because I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not gonna justify saying I'm a heterosexual male and I got a skirt on. Talking about his fashion.
You got me there. And they gonna do that.
I'm not gonna be an NFL quarterback and have my nails painted different colors unless I'm trying to signal the other team or something like that. But no, it's for fashion. And don't call me anything other than a real man, because there's so many definitions of being a male and being, gender is a construct and all that. See, that's all that new school stuff.
You got me there.
What about metrosexual?
See, that's old.
Yeah, I had them though.
We had that.
Mm-hmm.
No, but here a metrosexual would be a man that kept his nails manicured.
Mm-hmm.
He might get a pedicure,
Clear polish, of course.
Fair.
a massage, a facial. This is more of primping and this kind of primping and being more.
A tad bit feminine.
Well,
Not
there was some
Hold
feminine.
up.
It may be some feminine energy in that.
Tad bit, Eugene.
Only
I said
in
a
the
tad
sense
bit.
of I want to look good. I want to be on
That's
display.
what I said. That's tad bit.
That's it. I want to be on display. But look, pimps did that too.
Smell good. You got to have the cologne on that.
Gotta have a cologne.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Good investment.
You know what, though? Because what you said, B, to me, is kind of, to Carl's point, it's counterintuitive to what we see. Because my definition of
Agreed.
a real man, you work hard, you provide for your family, you're a protector of the family, you're the breadwinner, you're the leader. Now, of course, going back to old school, there's a couple of little negative things in there, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But when I see these young cats coming up, I'm saying to myself, dude, what you doing? You wearing blouses? The fingernails thing, I still don't get with that.
Me neither.
What's the quarterback? Caleb Williams?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't support that.
Then you got Dwayne Wade, who we all think has been suspect for years.
But doesn't he have a makeup line?
Yeah, he has a nail polish line.
line.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the rule and exception. You got to put Dwayne Wade in another category.
Why?
Because you know that household and whole dynamic.
But
So you think that had anything to do with his son wanting to be a female?
But he's not going to start a whole business just based on an exception to the rule. It's people,
That-
it's men
Yeah.
like him
I think he got some sweet feelings inside of him.
well, and and we don't know what he identifies as and all that kind of stuff.
That's why I
because,
said put
again,
that over.
But no,
it's
because
not the
because he's not by himself.
He's married to a woman. He has children. He has a child by this. He has children by women. So I would think that he's heterosexual, but he's comfortable. But it's like you said, his son, daughter, whatever they call it, I'm going to say whatever. I mean, let me back that up because people get offended. But
His son.
his son, his child, thank you,
There you go.
was transitioning. I don't know. But you want to be supportive of your child. But
Yeah.
that's fine. That's a whole nother show.
Uh-huh.
But this right here I'm gonna start a business of nail polish and I'm a man. Am I marketing that to women or men? I'm marketing it to men. Or I'm marketing it to both. Because again, gender is a construct. See, this is the kind of stuff I've never heard that before.
Never ever.
And people
Yeah.
are really, in your age group, are really sensitive about making sure that gets out. Now, again, as a man, the way I was taught is a man or a woman. Here are the roles for a man, here are the roles for a woman. Here's how you act as a man, here's how you act as a woman.
Your lanes. Stay in your lane.
Now,
Yeah.
some people would say that's toxic.
You know what?
Misogynistic.
I wouldn't say misogynistic or toxic because of the fact that we haven't said what those lanes are. You know, we have word like, for instance, you think about real men, you think about masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I came up with was stoicism. My dad.
My favorite.
My dad was as stoic as they come. I can honestly say I've never seen my dad in all his years. I never saw him get mad. Now, drinking, different story. But he enjoyed a cocktail or two. Never saw him get mad. However, when dad did speak, oh, you better listen because there's some wisdom behind it. And even though, physically my dad wasn't imposing, he didn't play because he was quiet. And Carl, we know, them the ones you watch out for.
You watch out for the
So the brother in the club that's loud, don't worry about him.
So in the back.
The one sitting back in the cut, don't mess.
just watching,
Mhm. That's the
Do
problem.
not mess with him.
kill everybody in here.
It's that movie John Wick. With a pencil.
Another one that I thought about, and this was, I think it kind of classifies as being a negative, especially where we are now with mental health. Real man, being, emotionally strong and, devoid of personal pain, toughen up, don't cry, the whole nine.
Suck it up.
One of the things that I admired about my dad, though, and some people may think it's negative, is that, he sacrificed his own comfort for us. And Carl, I think growing up in that time, we have adopted some of those same qualities. And it's nothing bad about it, but it's just that, now you have, everybody is so sensitive. So, well, what about me? I have to tend to my needs, and I can't take my son to basketball practice because right now I'm going to my men's group. We're doing
Sassy.
hot yoga. Or we're going to sit and talk about how we can make the world better because that's my time. If you don't get your yes,
That is
and
not
I look
stoic.
at that, the sacrifice thing though, as parents. To me, that's part of the job description.
Yeah, 100%.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're foregoing your happiness. In our generation, Carl, it just means that we're putting others ahead of ourselves because we recognize we're looking at the big picture.
Yeah, you got to be selfless.
Because what does it take to make us happy?
Not a lot.
Yeah, peace,
Yeah.
a good meal,
Good meal. You're right.
and TV because I got to see my sports.
Got to be, and some comfort, some kind of comfort.
There you go. See,
I can buy into that. Yeah.
but now you got brothers out here who they want to do everything. I can be a house husband.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine your father, God rest his soul,
I don't.
at the crib when your mother's out there working?
As a house husband.
Can you imagine what you and your brothers would be like now if that were the case?
Soft.
Because traditional roles are being skewed now.
Yeah. And it's not only that they're being skewed, it's that my issue is it's so acceptable. And more so it's
Yeah.
acceptable to women. Because and I'm just gonna jump here.
Do it.
Women, you cannot tell a man how to be a man.
What do you mean?
Can you say that again?
What do you mean by that?
Women cannot tell a man how to be a man.
Oh.
Now, I'm gonna say as a caveat this real quick, because women will say, well, it's single mothers out here raising boys. I'm not talking about raising a child. Because raising a child, you're gonna instill certain things in that child. Good and bad, right from wrong, good from bad, all of that stuff. That's just raising good people. But at a certain point, you can't tell a young man to say, well, you need to be like this because that's what a real man would do. You can't do that.
No. And to the single mothers, please stop telling your son at 9 and 10 years old that he's the man of the house.
Because he's not. He's a child.
Yes.
No son husbands.
But what happens with that though is you put undue, unnecessary stress on this young man because he can't be a kid because he's saying to himself, I got to take care of the house because mama said I'm the man of the house.
He can't even multiply yet.
How many times do we see, and they love this, white folks love this story, the athlete who tells his mama at age 9, I'm going to make sure you never have to work again in your life, and I'm going to come, and I'm going to be this, that, and that. You love that story.
That's why they scout them high schools.
The mama should have said at that time, boy, shut up and go do your homework.
She ate that up.
Shut up and go. Because you're eating it up. Why? Because like you said, you treat him like a husband. That's not your husband. That's your child. Boy, shut up and go learn that math. I don't care nothing about no football, baseball, basketball.
And they really love it when Trevante make it to the league and, Mama, this your new house.
This your new.
And she crying, oh, thank you, Lord Jesus.
And then when Trevante is at home 2 years later, because he done blew his knee out, and Mama got to move out that house.
Because she can't pay the taxes or the mortgage because he didn't buy her the house. He just put the down payment down.
I mean,
but that's another story.
We gotta stop that whole women thinking that, this is what a man should. You, again, expectations versus standards. You know what you want. You know what what you would want in a man. Go find that in a man. Don't try to put that on your child.
But they can't because it's almost like, to your point earlier, Build-A-Bear. Because they want a man to have this, they want a man to have that, and that's their, so they think, standard. But, may he rest in peace, the Godfather, Kevin Samuel, did not have a problem with straightening women out when they were seeing that.
Don't say his name.
Granted, no, because
feathers.
here's the thing. While we all agree that there were some things that he said that were definitely out of bounds, I think his tone is the thing that caused a lot of people to not like him. But even now, when you look at his videos, he is sprouting a lot of truth. People don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But, if you look at what, quote unquote, a real man, how did that even derive? Because when people tell you what a real man is supposed to be, you have to wonder, where'd you get that from?
I'm still trying to find
I can't
out
tell
to
you
this
what a
day.
real man is. I know what I believe a real man to be, and that's based upon my experiences. That's based upon my relationships with men in my life coming up. Nobody ever sat down and told me, hey, man, this is what you're supposed to be, real man. Real man do this, real man do that.
Either.
So how did we get to the point where other people, i.e. other genders, can tell us what a real man is?
I would like to know where that all began from. Yeah, my dad or my granddad, one of my uncles or older cousins sat me down and said, hey, B, a real man's supposed to do this. But sometimes ladies will come, a real man is gonna, and I get confused and I'm just like,
where you get that from?
I am a man,
because
but
it's very.
I just want to know why and how.
This is a very interesting point. Nobody ever sat me down and said, this is what a real, you learn through observation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that men who did not have positive male role models have learned how to be a man through observation of
that's all you can do.
negativity. Yeah. Conversely, so have women.
Fair.
They've learned through observation of negative behaviors of what they expect a real man to do and to be, and they try to put that on a man or a young man.
And think about this now, it started a few years ago, got to get the bag, you got to get the bag. But a lot of women are looking at men to take care of them, get that bag for them. Literally, I want the Birkin, the Hermes and all this other stuff. So if you come into me, then you got to come correct, because those relationships are transactional. So if I get you a Birkin bag, you're going to give me...
A real man would do it just because.
Because of what?
Because.
That's what a real man's supposed to do.
Because a woman said that.
Thank you. It's because.
A woman said that. A real man would do it because I'm worth it.
Because.
Who's telling you that?
It's like when you ask who is they.
Because she saw that's what her daddy did.
Her daddy.
My daddy used to work his fingers to the bone so that everybody in the house could have what they supposed to have. So my mama could have nice clothes and a nice car, so that I could go to school and have nice clothes. My daddy did it. So this joke over here, you supposed to do it too.
So one or two things. I need to sit and talk to your father. And to see really what his mind is. Or two, like three things.
He ain't there. He dead.
That was the one I was going to.
He had a heart attack. He had a heart attack at 52.
He's dead. He's worked himself to death.
But we had that purse.
Or three, she's lying. So I need to find out which one of those. Because if that's the truth, sometimes it'd be like, well, you sound like you need to stay home with your daddy.
There you go.
If he's taking care of you and
solved.
he showed you what to do, you need to stay home with him. Because everybody's not going to be this ideal of what you think a man is. Like you said, Jane, there's so many definitions of what a man is. I'm not going to say Dwayne Wade is not a man or a real man because he wears nail polish or does whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say that's not my standard.
Yeah.
The streets are talking.
I mean, but the streets are talking. But even if you're talking about somebody whose sexuality may cross genders or boundaries or what have you, I'm still not going to say that's not a man.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I don't know what they do.
Tyler Perry.
For
some reason, Tevin Campbell just came to mind.
Little Tevin Campbell. But let me go back to Tyler Perry. Because Tyler Perry is a good example. He's a man who plays a woman.
And puts on a dress.
And that woman is telling people what a man is supposed to be and what relationships are supposed to be like. That's kind of crazy to me. The dichotomy of...
Yeah, that's the over-the-top one.
It's over the top because you've got so many women who love Medea. But that's a man telling y'all...
No, it's Medea.
Everything... No, it's not.
No, it's Medea.
Based upon his experiences. And correct me if I'm wrong, was his father even a part of his life?
His father was a part of his life, but he was very abusive.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which would make me think that's why his films, for the most part, seem to go a certain way.
That's why all the black men be abusive.
With the abusive, dark-skinned black man.
And there's a heroic figure, heroic man
who's normally light-skinned.
He's a super Negro. I mean, he's the most sensitive. He treats you well. Now, he might not have the best of jobs.
But he can work good with his hands.
Right. He's a hard-working man. He's a good man.
And he gets along with the single mom's kids.
Perfectly.
Loves them.
He may be a bus driver.
He's going to be so just in tune with what your goals are. He's going to treat you like a queen. Okay.
Wait. That's a real man.
And then Medea says, you better go on and be with him. He loves you.
That's a real man.
So a woman is going to walk away from that saying, that's what I want. I want that. But this is a man who's dressed like a woman telling you how to be.
And then go beyond that. And then you go get the man that's all emotionally perfect and good with the kids. But then he a bus driver, so he can't get you that $25,000 purse. And a real man will get you that purse. Not only that,
but because we know that is a fallacy, at some point, the real person's gonna show up. You think this bus driver ain't gonna have an attitude if he come home one day and he done had somebody cough on him on
No,
the
you
bus?
saw how the movie went.
Okay.
He
All
was
I know is
perfect.
we went through COVID. Maybe Medea should do a COVID movie. Anyway, so
It's still gonna be a dark skinned villain beating some
It's
woman.
still-
Now,
Going
it's
around
gonna be
coughing
the
on
same-
people?
He might give
Right,
her
coughing.
COVID. He gonna give her COVID.
He's spreading COVID. Just
And it's gonna be the janitor at the hospital come save the day.
Right.
No, we already know. We gonna
he
be
done
seeing that
invented,
movie.
he done invented some spray. He been trying to
Here-
sell it for the
here's-
20 years. But
here's a mask for you, dear.
And then they fall in love.
I saw, okay, and I hate to stay on this, but Tyler Perry. The movie Acrimony
Oh God.
that he did.
Yes.
It was the woman was with this man who was trying to sell this invention
Yes.
to this one company for 10, 15
Forever.
years. And he just wanted to get a break into this one company. Now he's got this great invention, but he's only marketed it to one company.
Wrote them countless letters.
And he's writing, and he's going and visiting, he's doing all this stuff, trying to get them to buy. Well, she gets tired based on what she's getting from her friends and family, and she leaves the man. Well, of course, he becomes a billionaire
What do you know?
and goes back and thanks her for the time she did spend and writes her a check for what was it, $10 million or something like that, and bought her house back, her family house that they had to sell to try to stay afloat. And he did everything right there, right?
Beautiful.
So she gets crazy mad that he's moved on with his life, and she felt like she wasted all of this time and she should be the one now. And it's like, this is so crazy, but at the same time, it's not.
real.
It's real.
It's real.
These are
That's
type
a
of
real
thoughts that I'm
thought
saying,
process.
like, first of all, what kind of man are you? Were you just, it just didn't make sense. It was just like,
Nothing makes sense in those movies. To
So,
be fair.
but here's the thing, though, fam. Y'all probably asking how we know someone that we got wives. That's why, you know. But that was one that was a Medea-less
Medea-less movie,
but the common denominator,
which is more.
But-
I was more apt to watch it because it was a Medea-less
he got
movie.
the same common
But it's the
denominator.
same
Yes.
common
So it's like,
denominators.
you know what's going on.
It-
Okay. We Tyler Perry, you okay. So we ain't gonna
Free our
reach
people
down
from the
to-
shackles of TP
Well,
Studios.
yeah.
oh, they love it.
Get some writers, man. He write everything
But they-
himself.
but-
so
but-
stop it.
But the themes, they love them though. People just,
They eat it up.
and I think as a man, it gets painful to watch because
Yes, I can't.
who
do
am
it.
I in the story?
You the
Am I
bad guy.
the
villain.
evil dark skinned
What was
dude,
the movie
or
with-
am I the hero light skinned
The
dude?
dude threw the kids out the window. Why I gotta watch a black man do that? I've never seen. Well, I probably did some white movies like that. But at least in some movies where white men be the good guy. Why we always got?
But see, and that's just it, because people love those movies. They feed into that. And they see that, well, that's the definition of a real man right there.
and then we take it out of Tyler Perry.
When you don't,
Studios.
but my thing is, you have to look at it and see that it's an amalgamation. Being a real man is an amalgamation of tons of different things. You know, we talked about masculinity, stoicism, things like that. I mean, and now it's grown because we look at, you know, and these are not things that I would say, you know, make a real man, but these are things that I have evolved into, you know,
Yeah.
being God-fearing, you know, things like that. Being able to receive help. Because, Carl, you know, our generation, we like, I got it.
Mhm.
You
But
know,
we were taught that.
exactly. And
Yeah.
now be with your generation, you guys are coming up where you understand the value of having good mental health. And in
Mhm.
most cases, you can put mental health above physical health, because if your mental health ain't good, then everything else
Yeah.
more than likely is falling
cut
apart.
the head off, you ain't got nothing else.
I think that, like you said, the seeking help part, because both of you have talked about being in therapy and seeing a therapist and the importance of that.
Mhm.
Again, me looking back at men that I observed either within my family or in my neighborhood that I'll just say abuse substances, mostly alcohol. You start thinking like, why were you always drunk? Why were you? Because it was
That
like
was his therapy.
that was that.
Yep.
Because you're
that was
not
his
going to
coping
ask
mechanism.
for help.
Yeah.
You're not. It's your coping mechanism.
Mhm.
You're not going to ask for help because it wasn't what we did. You know what I do? I go. I get drunk. I get high, and I try to forget about it for.
But that's, I think too, a lot of it is they didn't know what the problem was. They just know that they wanted to numb whatever made them feel a
Mhm.
particular way. You
Well,
know,
yeah.
Friday when you got paid, if you married, the majority of that money going to your wife, but you got to have your drinking money. You
Get
know,
that
so
40.
you're going to go out and see that you.
I had a neighbor.
You know they was getting them 40s. You
Well, my dad went, they was drinking pints and
Yeah.
You know.
vodka and stuff. We was doing the 40s.
Now
They-
I you know, this is not funny, and drunk driving is not funny. It's a very serious matter. But I had
That
a neighbor
statement is
growing
funny.
up that on Fridays
watch out.
by 6 o'clock, you could see him coming down the street.
Mr. Johnson, coming, get out of the street.
All the kids got to
Drove
stop
one
playing.
of them old long Cutlass
Oh,
Supremes,
it's an army tank.
an army tank, baby, and we're pulling that driveway sideways. And would stumble out that car and would and I'm like,
Going through some things.
he got paid. Now, you say God fearing. By Sunday morning, he sobered up. He was the organist of the church.
See?
Amen.
But-
Amen.
But I'm looking.
exercising them demons.
But I'm looking at him again. That's a man. He worked all week, took care of his
got a
family,
house, got a car,
doing
wife.
something
his
for
family,
himself.
and he did something for. So, as a kid, I could look at that and be like, "Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to work on Fridays, you get paid,
Treat yourself.
treat yourself, get drunk, and then Sunday morning
He up at church.
you up
Amen.
at church. Amen. I mean, that's a good man.
That's
Hey.
is that a real man?
Is that a real man? People would tell me nowadays, no, that's not a good example.
But see, what I see now, though, is a lot of we have the representatives, the facades, you know, with these guys. You know, brother be on Instagram or whatever, portraying I'm this, I'm that, I got this.
Pander.
And yeah, come to find out you ain't got none of that. You still at home with your mama. Or, excuse me, my mother lives with me.
You say pandering? Pandering to who?
You know who they pandering to. They not pandering to the men. We not buying it.
Well, let me ask you, though, B, in terms of that, how many brothers have you seen that have really gotten people from Instagram where women have slid into their DMs? Does that work for men? We know it works for women.
It works, but the percentage is what 90% of the time is the guy going, and maybe 5%.
I mean, that was just something I thought about.
But you know, I just
Well, can it be a meeting place? I mean, like we talked about dating apps before. Is social media like a dating space as well? Because you can tell, and I say this because I've seen women.
kinda.
I've seen women that post all of these, you know, let's say provocative or sexy pictures or whatever, and then they'll have a post that says, you know, what you think I look like on a Friday night versus what I really look like. And they sitting at home eating popcorn, and it's like, so I mean, you're not going out? I mean, you're posting all these pictures,
Yeah,
and that means you tell me you don't have a relationship?
and to answer that, I feel like we could I'll take and put myself out there, like Instagram as an example. You can kind of view that as a dating app, right? I don't have dating apps, but you essentially got a profile of this person. You can see their likes and dislikes, and you can message them.
And then what? So what if the person's in another state?
I'm not DMing nobody in another state.
Well,
So
I'm
just
just
using
saying.
myself as an example.
So what
Okay.
is that? Is messaging them a real man act?
Somebody might say no,
Why?
because
He taking charge.
a real man would do. You know, that list goes on for days and days. So, and I don't know what a real man is, and I wasn't told, but somebody else can tell me what a real man's supposed to do.
But you have an idea of what you think a real man is, right?
Bingo. So we
Okay.
know my method. We talked about this in a previous episode. I'm going to DM you Monday. We can go out to eat Friday. So
Okay. So if she don't respond to your DM, then what? You move on to the next one?
oh yeah, gotta go. No message received is a message received.
So again, a woman might say, well, a real man, he's supposed to be persistent. He really not even showing no interest. He DM'd me once, and
Fair. That is
I got to
true.
keep him waiting, and he didn't even come back. So he's not a real man. He's not pursuing me. A real man's supposed to pursue. The
He the
woman is supposed
hunter.
to be pursued.
Yeah, and I hear that. But my counter argument to that is I did pursue with the one message. Is that not pursuit in itself?
I agree with you.
That's the pursuit. Now, am I going to say hello 47 times because some guys will do that and that gets internalized as pursuit? That's not pursuit to
That's
me.
stalking.
Exactly.
It's
I'm
also toxic.
So if I message you one time and say hello or whatever, and there's no response, like I said, that is the message. I'm not gonna come back tomorrow. Hey.
But that's why I said a woman can't tell a man how to be a man, because you're gonna have those two different sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Either I sent something to you, you didn't respond. Okay, I'm good. You're telling me you're not interested, or I'm responding to you 47 times. Hey, did you see that? I sent something yesterday. He's stalking me.
In other words, a real man would message me 47 times to get my attention.
I don't know how to navigate that space, which why I
Me
would
neither.
say a real man, if they're not in another state, is going to go up to the young lady and say, hey, how are you? My name is, why don't we, and I've heard even that. He just came right on up to me.
You can't win.
Yeah, but again, those are, a real man would approach me different. A real man would have bought me a drink rather than just introducing himself.
So see, herein lies a problem though, because a lot of brothers are taking what these women see,
Mm-hmm.
or what they say, excuse me, and running with it.
Yep.
Real man will buy me a steak dinner. Oh, I want to be with her, so let me go buy her a steak dinner. So they feed into this. So now my question is, how do we stop brothers from feeding into this? Because again, Carl, to your point, women, y'all can't tell us how to be men. And even when you do, a real man ain't trying to hear that. Because we know. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, you're saying stop it. I think a good question would be, how do men who were taught by older men model that behavior so that men nowadays don't fall into that trap?
But you don't have a lot of older men that are
And
reaching back to
that's the
say, young brother, you don't need to do it that
That's
way.
what I'm saying. So if we're gonna stop it, we've got, because I've said this before, and I said this to my brother, and he was like, yeah, I use that all the time. I'm a man who was raised by a man who was raised by a man.
I like that.
So
Put that on a t-shirt.
Branding.
that's a lot of male responsibility. Family men, working men.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the traits that you might call toxic or passe, the stoicism,
Yep.
the whatever it is, you got them all. Now, just like anything else, you can pick and choose what you want to use. You're going to modernize things a little bit. You're going to, but you got that foundation. Nowadays, are men modeling that, or are they reaching back actively to say, hey, young man, let me show you something. Let me just tell you a little something.
Yeah, but one of the problems too is that they don't have the interaction of peers that we had. Because in addition to your point with having a father or uncle or grandfather that you learn things from, we learn things from each other, and I think that is something that enabled us to complete that circle.
Yeah.
One of the problems that we run into with our generation, Carl, reaching back is, a lot of the YNs don't want to listen.
Yeah, it's a disconnect.
I have to say to myself, like I tell my kids, I'm here to help. I'm not telling you something that I don't know. I'm telling you something that I do know through my life's experiences, whether it's me personally going through it or having a friend that went through it. We are a community. We talk to each other. And it gets frustrating. Carl, I don't know about you, but for me, it gets frustrating when it's like I'm beating my head against the wall because I tell you, yeah,
Told
you
you.
might want to go this way, but you continue to go the other way. So the frustration sets in. And for us, I think we need to be more consistent, maybe show a little bit of grace, but we have to have a lot of patience too. Because
the other
again,
side needs to be
we
receptive.
don't want the end result to be a generation of black men coming
I
up
think we lack patience.
that just
It's
And I'm talking about our
yeah,
generation, because what you said
it's
is
on
correct.
you guys' side. There's a lack of patience, and on the younger side, there's a lack of willing to be open and receptive. So those two things create a huge disconnect. How do we fix it? I don't know, because you see the example all the time. Like, hey, let me show you how to do this. No, I'm gonna figure it out myself. Then I walk into days where I just talk to a lot of people. Like, I hear guys don't know how to change oil, change a tire, do all this type of stuff. And I remember I was younger, I would see whether my uncle, my dad in the garage. Oh, this is how you take this lugs off your car and this, that, and the third. And now you might see a young person in their driveway spinning their lugs backwards. He's like, hey man, you doing it backwards? No, I got it. I'm gonna get on Google and no, I'm straight.
spinning it backwards.
And then you hear from a young lady, he don't even know how to change a tire.
A real man would know how to change the tire. And that's
Do
how we
you
got
know
here
how to
today.
change a tire, Joe?
No, but you're right. And I guess what you said is, how do we fix it? Because what you said is, I think, is absolutely correct. And I do know for myself, it's frustrating, like you said, Eugene.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
But it's frustrating to the point where we'd be like, you know what, forget it.
Yeah, you don't care no more.
And
then,
but we can't be like that on our side.
But then you
also
come back
can't.
and be like, okay, this last time.
Right. Because you
this last time.
You want to prevent things that you've gone through, somebody else going through what you've gone
Yeah.
through. You really
we
are
want
trying
you to
to help.
succeed.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep, we want
It's
you
not,
to succeed.
It's not hating. And I've heard, and I get this from my kids a lot. They say they want to do something. My immediate reaction is, okay, well, you know about this, 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 and this. And they'll say, well, you're not being encouraging, so that's fine. Or you're not, you seem to be, it's
You
the,
know, Debbie Downer.
negativity
Yeah,
here is, I don't
too
want to
negative.
And it's like, I'm not. I'm really trying to help you, because I want to make sure you're thinking about everything that goes into this. Just like you said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna change my own oil. If your car is past really the year 2000,
you ain't doing it.
You don't really want to, you can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? And you can go on YouTube and they got, just get the 17th, 12th Allen and wrench, and you don't even know
Take
what an
you 10
Allen wrench
minutes.
is. You know what I'm saying? You
Stripped all the bolts.
tow up everything, and don't do that. So that's one thing. But I can tell you that too. Like, I'm gonna train my own up. I don't think that's good, because you might want to, you look at things, blah, blah, blah. You're being negative. Okay, now you tow your car up.
Yeah, next thing you
And
know,
you need my
change
help.
you change the oil. Now your car don't start.
Yeah, your car don't start.
Hey, my man, what was you saying yesterday?
I'm just trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that we observed. Like you said, you might see your father, your uncle, whatever, doing. We just did it through observation.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, and well, a lot of times it was, come here, hold this.
Hold the flashlight. Yeah.
Come here, do this. But you knew what they were doing. You knew why they were doing it.
And if you didn't, you learned, because you get the wrong wrench if you want to.
I said Phillips head. Yep.
Well, I was just, shut up. Get it.
That's a flathead, stupid.
I got scars
But
on
you
my
learned
arm
the
right now
tools.
that I learned that there's a muffler on a lawnmower, and it gets hot.
I was with a snowblower. That snowblower
I
get
can show
hot.
you the scars where it was like, oh, don't touch that right there.
That smoke coming out of that thing, right?
Yeah.
That might be hot.
I mean, there are a lot of life lessons that you learn that you just want to pass on.
Yeah.
And I think that now the people, young men, are not receptive because they don't. Again, they've got so much knowledge through social media, 24-hour news cycle. Everything, technology is moving so fast. It's like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, but you can see in like, even when it comes, like, I go again, the tire thing, like, you can't change your tire or take it off, man. What?
So let me ask this question then, Carl. We talked about women not being able to tell men how to be men. Do you think that is coming from a good place? Are they trying to help, or are they being negative, cynical, sarcastic?
No, they're trying to build a bear.
So for selfish reasons, then
Yeah.
Manipulation.
And
that
see,
jumped out real
you
quick.
say manipulation. I think that most of that advice, particularly on social media, is coming from single women.
Mm-hmm. Who've been hurt.
And you trying to tell me or tell a man these are the things that you should be doing that would please me.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't apply to everybody.
Oh.
And if I'm a man and I'm going along just fine, and then I start hearing this stuff, now you're gonna start influencing me like, oh, well maybe that's why I'm single, because I didn't do this and I didn't buy that Birkin. So I need to save up. You live in a studio apartment. You driving a 10-year-old car. And you talking about, but you
got no savings, no nothing.
But that's what you got. I'm just saying, you doing you. But now all of a sudden, you think that to keep a woman or to get one, forget keeping them, to get
just
one,
to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, get your foot in the door. You got to spend, a coffee date is not a good first date. A walk in the park, what is that? You got to pay
cheap.
for my time. That's called prostitution.
Yeah, that's kind of illegal in some states.
Well, you paying for companionship, so
that's called prostitution.
Yeah,
and
okay.
hey, but then if I say that, then you offended.
Then you a narcissist and a misogynist.
You're all of those things. So it's like when men are trying to live up to these standards, these artificial standards, you got schizophrenic men. Because you don't know where they're going. And then I got to adapt to whatever the wind blows on that day.
Yep.
So now
whatever's trending, really.
Yeah, because again, I go back to the whole skirt wearing thing. If I say, oh man, that dude look gay. What you mean he look gay? That's the fashion. Oh, so you homophobic now?
Yep. Next thing you know, she going online. Carl homophobic.
And I just
he
said
don't
the
like
guy look gay.
gays.
Now it's plenty of gay men out here.
Yeah.
It's gay men that wear skirts. And they're proud of it. Okay, cool. But if a straight man puts a skirt on and I say he looked gay, now all of a sudden I'm homophobic? I just say he looked like the gay dude that's next to him.
He gonna agree with you.
It's good with the skirt he got on. But now I got to, I can't navigate all of this. And if I say that too, I defend my position. Like you said, now I'm a narcissist.
So B, let me ask then, have you ever been in a situation where you've had a female try to tell you what a real man should be doing?
Yeah, I have.
And how did that work out? First of all, let me ask, were you offended?
I wasn't offended. I was more so confused. Because again,
you bossed up. Tell me you bossed up on her.
Because I was like, I'm hearing this from a woman, and I'm like, how are you going to tell me as a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
What a real man is supposed to be? And then I look at it and I see like, okay, and it makes you stop and reflect. Because are you like, am I a real man? Am I? And you say, okay, I am doing these manly things. So it makes you like, okay, I am a quote unquote real man, I think. And it makes you just rebuttal. But it's a confusing thing because, again, how is a non-man telling me how to be a man? And then when you dive into what the context was like, a real man would do X, Y, and Z. That's why I threw the word manipulation out there, because 9.9 times out of 10, a woman is going to come at a man and say, a real man is going to do X, Y, and Z. But X, Y, and Z is pretty much beneficial to the person saying it.
But I think, too, that the response is age appropriate, because a female could say that to me, wouldn't bother me, because I know who I am and I know what I do. If anything, I might laugh.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean by that?
But younger folks, such as yourself, You might fall into that trap where
Yeah,
man,
because there might be
I do
somebody
I do
susceptible
need to be
to.
doing this.
Because you're trying to figure yourself. You're still learning yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a very dangerous game to play because like you said, there is let's say a 22-year-old, and it's like a real man is going to do X, Y, and Z. If he don't have no solid role models, he only came around a negative man, and now you getting out here in the real world, you see women telling you a real man going to do this. You pick up your phone, Instagram, TikTok, look at the man doing all this. That's all you internalize.
Well, everybody on TikTok doing skits anyway. But I will say this. I
Yeah.
think that a lot of women that say that, they're benefiting from it in the sense that they know that sooner or later something's going to happen where they're going to be like, okay, yeah, this is working. And men are
somebody falls
when you
for
fall
it.
into that trap, that's it. Because once one man does it, then they're going
It's good enough.
to use it for everybody
It's
else after.
Good enough.
But let me say this too, because this is what you'll find. Men will fall into that trap, and then they'll become soft to the woman. He can do it. Anything I tell him to do, he can
I
do
just
it.
walk over him.
I just walk over him. Real man would say, he don't give me no pushback.
Yeah.
He don't say nothing to me. I'd have put me in my place a long time ago if I.
Ooh, girl, I know what you're talking about. Ronnie don't do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
You
don't
can't
have,
win.
He don't have no backbone. So it's like, is
But
this
2 months ago, a real man.
Damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Which is why, again, young men, don't let a woman tell you what. If you are still in that phase where it's like, well, what should I be doing? Go talk to another man.
There
That's
you
a
go.
great piece of advice.
An
Go talk
older
to
man.
an older man, a respectable older man.
Seasoned.
Who was gonna tell you?
Seek wise
I
counsel.
mean, because you otherwise, even give him that scenario. Well, me and my girl, yada yada yada. She said, "I'm not a real man."
He gonna laugh.
He's going to laugh.
But he gonna drop some knowledge too.
Yeah.
And I need you to take that to heart. Now, conversely, like you said, there are some negative things that have been connotated to being a real man. I don't know any men currently in our age group who are abusive to their mates.
Think about that one. So.
And I've said this, and I don't say it taking it lightly, but I know there's a lot of, things about, stop domestic violence and stop domestic violence. And I would always say, as a man, I don't know anybody who's beating on their significant other. So it's really nothing I can do about it. The only other part is, I have daughters, and if somebody was to hit them, I'll stop domestic violence with that person.
That was about right.
Because that's not going to happen again.
While we don't condone violence,
mean,
we are parents.
Right.
So,
Protect yours.
Now, my thing is, if they hit you with the nubs that they're going to have left, then that's on you because you got that close. But I can't stop that.
So he rolled
But
you
what
over in his wheelchair?
Right. If he's sitting there like this, he said, "Come here," that's on you. Because I tried to help you. I'm trying to stop domestic violence. The other part is, and we talked about this in show prep too, older generations, a real man might have more than one family.
yeah.
And
we got some.
I heard about that.
We've got, and I've,
Most families have them.
Yeah.
But that's
I've
what
had
they
some
romanticize. Pawpaw and grandma.
Well, no, they didn't romanticize it. They normalized
Yeah,
it
they
Oh,
because
normalized
yeah.
Big Mama was taking care of them other side kids too. She
Yeah,
just
That's why,
brought
that's
them
why
into
it
the
was like
fold.
18 siblings in that picture.
Hey,
there's a
man,
lot.
It's the South.
Okay, I get it.
The North too.
Yeah, I'm about to say, they came up here, so.
They came up here. I have a friend. She went to her grandfather's funeral, and she said when she got to the funeral, she looked on the front row, and it was a whole row of people that looked just like her that she had never met. And it was like,
Hey, sis.
oh, and and it was, hey, come here, let me talk to you a little bit.
But to your point, it was normalized.
It was
and that's not something that, our generation has taken on. But, I don't think that you can just narrow down what being a real man is in a sentence or two, because It's your experience. It's my experience. Carl, it's your experience. But what we do know is that women, y'all can't be telling us what a real man is and what a real man does. Because if your daddy was a real man, that's cool. That worked for him. But it's not going to work for us. Now, maybe the younger generation be.
Nah, not me.
Okay, because you learned.
Yeah.
So are you sharing the wealth then with your peers? Tell them, hey, man, don't fall into that trap. And if you did, would they listen?
I will tell them, don't fall for it. Will they listen? Put action to it? That's on them.
And why is that? Why would they not listen to you? You're a man.
We got free will.
Okay.
I can lead you to the water. You got to drink it.
You know, I as we talk about this, I kind of think back to, you know, when we were coming up and how it was never said, this is how you be a man. But Carl, to your point, you know, we learn through experience and whatnot. And I think for me, the biggest effect that it had on me was just I emulated these positive role models.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, you know, my uncles, my dad, you know, going to work and, you know, this, that, and the third. And it's like, now what I see are younger men trying to take shortcuts, you know, to get the bag or whatever the case may be. But we've grown up, Carl, where we knew that there was no substitute for hard work.
Nope.
There is none.
There never will be.
You know, and I think to normalize what we have now, you know, people and their ideas of what a real man is, we're doing ourselves an injustice. Granted, not saying our generation's perfect.
Yeah.
But I take my generation over this generation now.
You don't want to be an iPad baby?
Nah, I'm straight.
And why would I? I mean,
You might. Hey, man, YouTube was YouTube, man.
I think, and not that we grew up in the horse and buggy days, but it was just a lot more grit involved. It was a lot more hustle involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we would work hard, and you would see the fruits of your labor. You could expand. You grow your newspaper business. You grow your snow shoveling, grass cutting business.
Paper route.
I think what messed us up, and this is for us, was, again, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but the crack era.
I knew you was about to say the
Yes,
crack.
it did.
I knew you was about to say it.
It did.
People that you knew that was hardworking, they got that one hit and that was it.
And
Newspaper
even,
stand was
and
gone,
even
huh?
yeah, well, no, with us, you know, I'm cutting grass, and my boy is on the next block.
Slanging.
He's
Slanging
15, driving a Benz. It's like, you don't even have a driver's license. How you get the Benz? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Got your boys in BMS.
So the whole shortcut thing came to be like, oh, well, I'm a hustler. I'm just going to change the hustle and increase my money.
But see, here's the thing with that, though. I don't think the younger folks realize that hustling is a job. Hustling ain't you make a little money here and you sit back and when you ain't got no more, you go out there. Hustling is continuous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't never met a broke hustler.
Now you will.
And I've met a whole lot of hustlers, dope boys, whatever you want to call them, that didn't live like BMF. They weren't living. They made some money. They made decent money, but they didn't live like. And I think that everybody wants to go from street corner to the penthouse
Instantly. 24-hour turnover. This one bag.
And
Frank Lucas.
And the hustlers I know that was back in the day hustlers, they still, most of them are still living. Most of them are free. But they never aspired to be Meech. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm good right here.
Mm-hmm. And somebody got to do that, even in that world.
And I think that's what a lot of people now, the young people particularly, think that as a man, I'm supposed to go from 0 to 100.
And then reality will set in.
And you can't.
But how do you go from 0 to 100 with no instruction?
You don't.
No discipline.
You
You
don't.
just
Somebody else did it.
Oh, okay.
I
And
saw
you saw,
somebody on
Somebody
Instagram.
got rich on TikTok overnight.
Right.
Yeah, I saw somebody else do it.
and if
that's
he
enough.
can do it, I can do it.
Yep. That's it.
You know that is the type of mentality that my kids used to have when they were 7 and 8 years old.
Now
You
you
know,
might
my
see
son
at 27.
saw somebody surfing. I could do that. You can't even swim, but I can do that. Okay.
But he do it on the TV screen.
Okay.
It's good enough.
So
that's-
people in your age bracket believe the foolishness that they see.
And beyond.
Okay.
Because somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah.
We didn't see. We saw, okay, again, crack era. We saw the 15-year-old in the Benz. We also saw the drive-by shooting. We also saw, like you said, the strung out crack.
Yeah, I'm about to say you saw the junkie too.
You know, so it was
Stealing
like,
your
The
teeth, trying to-
15-year-old's auntie.
so I'm making a conscious, if I decide to get into this game, I'm making a conscious decision because I see everything that's
The
involved.
good and the bad.
I don't see just the glamour, the glitz and the glam. I see
Yeah, true.
everything that's involved. I see that nice looking house that starts because now Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins, they don't go to work no more. You know what I'm saying? You see everything. So it's like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. I know I can go to jail. I know I might get killed. I know all of this stuff. So I'm making a conscious. But see, now you looking at it on Instagram, you're not seeing. You seeing only the glitz.
They don't show when the door get kicked in. That's they don't go live on that one.
All they show is my man with the money phone. Okay.
And now,
They don't show that raid on
okay,
Tuesday.
so I'm watching something the other night. You know, our friend of the podcast, Floyd Mayweather. He's having financial troubles.
You don't say.
You don't say.
And he's all of these homes that he had that he said was all bought and paid for. He's taking out mortgages on those homes.
This is all property in New York, right? Or
I don't know where it is.
okay.
But he's leveraging his properties to get money that he says he already has. Now,
That doesn't make sense.
and I say this,
You know
people
he
look
can't
at
with the
people
numbers.
because they see him walking around with stacks of money and going into the Louis store and pulling out, you know, $15,000, $20,000 in cash to pay for things.
Gotta
And
keep
you
that
look,
image up.
it's an image.
Gotta keep it up.
It's an image. But here I am sitting here looking at it. And do I think that I can, first of all, I'm not taking advice, financial advice from somebody who can't read.
Yeah.
I'm not taking
Tip number
financial
one.
advice from somebody who got punched in the head for a living.
Tip number 2.
CTE, everybody.
I'm not taking advice from somebody who made their money doing something that I can't do.
All
That's
good
the most sensible one. Point number 3.
So why
Points.
would I? Why? It's entertaining. It's okay. You can look at it and say it's entertaining, but I can't look at that as aspirational. The problem is when people look at those
Yep.
things as aspirational, and I'm like, as a man,
Goals.
how
It's
can I get past that?
Goals.
it's infantile behavior. I mean, it's an infantile mentality. You
Mhm.
can't. You know, I think one of the things too that we look at is when it comes to being a real man. You know, the definition in and of itself is subjective, fam. So, you know, do with it what you will. However, comma, you know, we've brought some points to the forefront that you guys can think about. You know, we're not saying that we're perfect and we know what the answers are, but based upon our experiences, you know, we pretty good at knowing what a real man is. I think one of the things we have to realize is that too long we've served society's needs over our own. So we've got to, you know, make sure that we're doing stuff for ourselves. You know, in terms of having a family, we know the tenets of being a real man, you know, being a provider, being a protector, you know, but it's expanded where you're God-fearing, you're looking after your own well-being, your mental health, as well as your physical health. So we can have the old school definition mixed with some of the new school stuff. But what we do want, you know, the audience to realize is that young men, hey, you should not have a problem with seeking out older brothers who know what they're doing. Take the advice and run with it. You know, we're not telling you anything that's going to hurt. We're only doing things or saying things, suggesting things that we know are going to help. So again, guys, we want you to like the episode, subscribe to the YouTube channel, drop in comments. And as always, we want you guys to stay prayerful, stay positive, stay patient, stay peaceful. See you guys next time.